So we start off here. The whereabouts of Tiffany Meek on the day her son's body was discovered will be the center of attention when the cross-examination of the investigating officer in the case resumes this morning in the Roodepoort Magistrate Court. The 31-year-old mother alleges police are trying to frame her for the murder. Newzroom Afrika Scara Mafokoane is now joining us live from the Roodepoort Magistrate Court. A very good morning to you, Scara. Tell us about what we can expect in terms of that cross-examination.
A very good morning to you, Aldrin, and to our viewers. It's going to be a very interesting morning. Correctly, you say the whereabouts of Tiffany Meek is playing center stage as this cross-examination continues. We know that the state is saying they have a witness that puts Tiffany at the apartment at 4 o'clock on the morning that the body of young Jaden was discovered. However, on Wednesday, the evidence being led by Tiffany's defense lawyer saying, actually, that is not the fact. Police are fabricating evidence actually to implicate Tiffany in this crime. They say, and they produce to that effect, a bold report. Essentially, the report stated that Tiffany slept at her mother's house. So she took a bold ride at 5:10 on the 14th of May. And to go to her apartment, she arrived there at 5:20. And after that, she says she went there to freshen up and then go back to her mother's place. And she took another ride at 5:47. So they say they have evidence proving that she was not at the apartment when the body was discovered. That will be another bone of contention going into today's cross-examination. I'm not sure if we have that exchange from court on Wednesday, just to play it for our viewers.
On Monday afternoon, you paused to bring it to the court's attention that you found it strange that the accused had failed to put in an affidavit that at 4 a.m. that morning she was at Swazi Place. Correct?
In the morning of that morning.
Yes.
That was never mentioned. That was my concern as to why that was left out. Yes, I did raise it up.
And yet when you mentioned it, you had already known that the accused was never there at 4 a.m. because you had a sworn affidavit from her confirming she only arrived at 5:22. What was your intention?
My intention was to reflect on a situation that the applicant was at Swazi's Place that morning, and that was never recorded on her affidavit.
That's what happened on Wednesday. Continuation of that cross-examination will resume at 9 o'clock. But towards the tail end of proceedings on Wednesday, Aldrin, there was something very unprecedented but very interesting that happened in court, where the magistrate ordered the investigating officer to bring evidence which is sealed and in police custody to court. Now, the reason for that was that there was a dispute as to whether Jaden was at school on the 13th of May, the day that he went missing. So that evidence was brought into court. It was unsealed in front of the magistrate, the defense, and the views of cameras. So a book was taken out of the school bag that was discovered at Tiffany's house. So now we know that Jaden was indeed at school on the day, because there was a class workbook which was opened and read out, dated on the 13th of May, and it was a classwork which was presented in class. So I spoke to a lawyer, a legal analyst, sometime yesterday, and he told me that it's not so much unprecedented. A magistrate is allowed to, call upon evidence, especially in bail applications, to present to satisfy herself or himself as to whether the applicant is able, or rather to motivate why they should get bail. Let's take a listen to what Mafokoane told us.
But in particular, what is important is that it assists the magistrate to reach a just decision, so that she or he can decide whether bail can be granted. At this point, though, I believe that what is more important is to see whether the accused or the applicant for bail will stand trial and will not interfere with witnesses and will not be a flight risk. So that is very important. And then also whether if she's released, will that not have a situation where the public will have issues with safety, whether for her or for the public. So those are one of the things. But constitutionally speaking, she has a right to be released if the interest of justice permits.
Now, Aldrin, the bail application enters its 7th day. It started last week, Friday. We're not certain at this point when we'll have judgment, into whether Tiffany Meek will be released on bail or not. What's going to happen today? The Advocate Naidu will conclude his cross-examination. We will have moments where the state and the defense will make their closing arguments. At this point, we're not sure whether judgment will be given today or reserved for Monday. Aldrin.